Good morning, Myra.
Good morning. Do
All
you hear
right.
me?
Yes, I can. I am going to step away from my desk for just a second to grab the documents that I just sent to print, but I will be right back.
Okey doke. Um, let's do this.
Okay, I am back.
Just one sec. Something is odd here. Oh, I give up. Do you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you. Yeah.
So I had to get a new computer because my charging port died. So whereas the computer didn't die, couldn't you couldn't plug it in. I mean, it was very odd. I could plug it in sometimes, but I couldn't count on it charging. And the charging port is built into the motherboard. And they told me for a 6-year-old computer, it's not worth it to get a new motherboard.
Mhm.
So I had to get a new computer, and it seems to want me to sign in with a password. Excuse me, which
Mm.
don't I don't get, but it doesn't matter because I'm in anyway, even though I have this bizarre screen asking me to sign in. Okay. Did you have a good vacation?
I did. It was a stay vacation for the most part. I just caught up on all the things that you don't normally have a chance to do when you're working too many hours.
Right. Which is everything.
Right. So I had a prescription to get new glasses. I've had it for several months. I finally have new glasses.
What color did you get?
I'm really boring. So for me, they're all so it's like tortoise shell. It's nothing exciting.
Okay.
Yeah. And I got uh my car serviced and it's that sort of running around. So nothing exciting. But my brother and I are hoping to take are planning on taking, I shouldn't say hoping because he's already purchased the tickets, a trip in October or in November.
Where are you
To
going?
We're going to Portugal for a couple of weeks.
Oh
So
my God.
yeah,
Well, that is cool.
it should be,
That
should
is
be.
very cool.
Yeah,
With your
yeah.
brother.
Yes,
Does he
yeah.
live near you?
No, he lives in Maryland. I guess we can call it a family tradition. When my mother turned 65, we did a big family trip, and I am turning 65, so we're doing a big family trip. Yeah.
Oh.
Mm.
Hi, Cody.
Yes. Good morning.
It says you're here.
Hi.
You are
Yeah,
here. That's cool.
yeah.
How are you?
I'm alright.
That's good.
Yeah.
It was 44 degrees this morning or something obscene like that. I can't
Mm.
believe it. Summer is over.
I love it. I This is my
Do
favorite
you?
time of year. Yeah,
Oh
I
no, I love it hot.
bright sunny days and cool, 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 crisp nights. I've already started making soup. It's lovely.
Well, the problem with the bright sunny days is if we don't get some real rainy days, we're going to be in big trouble.
Mm, mm,
We're in almost in drought.
yeah,
I guess Sunday helped, but there are lots of places in Massachusetts that are in drought.
right.
So the sunny days are very nice. And the
Yeah.
summer was full of them, and that was very nice. I'm a spring person myself.
Mm.
Hi, Jim.
Hello.
How are you?
I I'm fine. I gotta mute for a minute because my dog is barking, but I'm here and I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't hear your dog barking. And there's Saren. So now we have Pamela, Cody, Saren, me, and Jim. We have actually more than a quorum.
Yes.
Oh,
And the only people we're missing are Ian and our newly appointed but unsworn person named Reginald.
hmm.
That is
Um,
correct.
Paul appointed, well, I'll start the beginning at the meeting, I'll tell.
All right. And okay, so we do have
We have
one
a
member.
quorum.
We have a quorum and we have one person in the audience. So um, I will go ahead and read the intro. So, pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2025, extended through June 30th of 2027, the ability of public bodies to meet in a fully remote or hybrid manner. Members of the public who wish to access this meeting may do so via Zoom or by telephone. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mhm.
Who is the person in the audience? Is that
Uh,
person labeled?
the person is labeled, and when you call for public comment, which then,
But it
I
happens at
don't,
the very end, so I want to make
right,
sure they
yeah,
understand that.
yeah,
Okay,
yep.
okay.
Mhm.
All right, so we are underway. Um, do we have a time at which Jeremiah LaPlante is scheduled to come?
Uh, I'm not sure that we have a time. I think that the last communication that Philip had with Jeremiah was that he was going to make every effort to attend. I know that Philip
Oh,
sent in
okay.
an invitation, but I do not, he hasn't appeared yet, and I didn't see in their communication a specific time for him to arrive. So,
Okay. Well, when he comes, it would be
mhm,
good to know because he might have there are two agenda items that might pertain to things he knows.
mhm, mhm.
Um, okay. So let's get with the order of this. Um, Here we go. Let me get to the right place. Um, okay. So the old, well, I
So
don't
you,
have any announcements. Does anyone else have any announcements?
uh,
Well, I do have an announcement. We have a
well,
new member who isn't sworn.
mhm. So before you get to announcements, can we maybe do the roll call?
Oh, yeah, good.
Yeah.
I thought I already did that because I know who's here. So what the heck? Okay. Um, Saren, are you here?
Here.
Okay. And Jim, are you here? Jim is muted
I
still.
am.
Oh, okay.
That dog is barking.
Cody, are you here?
Here.
Excellent. Okay, and Pamela, I called you this time.
Yes,
Yes, so
I
Pamela
am
is here,
I am here. Right.
and Myra is here, and Ian is not here, from what I can tell. No,
That is
right?
correct. That's correct.
Okay,
Ian's not here.
okay. So we have 5 members. Of the 6 that currently are sworn, we had interviews on August 19th. We interviewed 3 people. We wish that actually we could have had all 3 of them. And there was a 4th who was going to be interviewed, and it would have been good to have that person too. So it's nice to know that there is interest in the town. Paul chose Reginald Andrade. I think that's how you say his name. It might be Andrade. I don't know. Um, but and he was appointed last night, I think, by the council, but he has not been sworn, and we sent him an invitation, so he might appear. But if he comes, that would be great, but he wouldn't be able to vote on anything today. And he can tell you about himself when we have him. So, does anyone else have any announcements? No, I would take that as a no. Okay, so, the accessible trails bill, I think Ian was the person in touch with that, and he's not here. So I don't know where the bill is. Does anybody know?
I don't.
Okay.
You
So,
don't.
right.
Thank you.
So Sharon, were you going to say something?
No, I was just trying to say something
Okay.
to my cat.
Okay. All right.
She says,
Okay.
I have an announcement. I'm not being fed well. Complaint.
Okay. So,
Well,
so
I don't know. I think that the legislation is going to be, there'll be a hearing at some point, but I don't know when it is. I thought Ian knew about that, so I don't.
So Ian was going to report back on the accessible trail bill. I think I don't know how many of among you receive a newsletter from MOD, but there was some mention of the legislative process in the most recent MOD newsletter, and I can forward that to the group. So I know that it is moving through the legislative process, but I didn't read it closely enough to tell you
Okay.
where exactly it is. But I can forward the MOD newsletter that
Okay,
mentions.
cool.
Yeah.
I used to get it, actually. I don't know that I do anymore. Okay. Mount Pollux, Jim, you brought that up. Um, the answer to your question about whether we were ever informed about improvements at Mount Pollux would be no. And that would be unfortunately not a surprise. But do you know more about it, or does anyone?
I don't know anymore as far as the process of the town or what their plans are. I actually was there yesterday, and they did some paving in the parking lot. So in theory, it might be a little expanded in order to accommodate, HP parking, an HP parking place or two, in theory. And then they put down like a 20 or 25-foot asphalt path, which led to a little bench which has a view of the Holyoke Range, but there was absolutely nothing as far as a path to the top of Mount Pollux. Now, again, all I'm going from is the town announcement saying that they were closed. This is maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, saying they were closing the parking lot temporarily so that they could do work there and install an accessible path on Mount Pollux. So I don't know if they've accomplished their plan. If they have, it's pretty small potatoes, to say the least. If there's more, to be done. I don't know anything about that, and maybe whoever put the little announcement together on the town website just made it up. I don't know. So that's all I know.
Well, you know, I've climbed up that. I don't see how they could possibly make that accessible. Do you?
You'd have to do an awful,
Lot
awful,
of
awful lot of work.
switchbacks,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's pretty, some of it is steep.
Yeah, you'd have to have a lot of switchbacks. It would take up a lot of space. I So I don't know what they're thinking.
Maybe they think that putting the walk to the bench where you actually have a good view is the best they can do, because I think it might be. It's not an easy place to walk.
No, I
I-
mean the bench has a nice view of the Holyoke Range, although when you go to Mount Pollux to look, that's not what you're interested in. You want to get to the top and look north to South Amherst and UMass and Mount Sugarloaf and points beyond.
Yeah.
So it's a strange choice, and I don't know why anyone would drive there intentionally to go 20 feet and
Sit
not
on a
necessarily,
bench.
sit next to a bench and look at the Holyoke Range. So
Well, it's an interesting question. So we can't say that, I mean, that's the one place that I don't think accessible parking money would have been well spent, because there's just the expense of getting anyone to the top who's using a wheelchair and needs all those switchbacks. They couldn't, I don't know. Anyway, maybe
yeah,
that's why nobody contacted us. Not the first
and I don't
place
know
I
who
would
would
go
know.
for an
I don't know if
accessible
it's a
trail.
I have never seen that place.
Well, no, you can't.
I know.
It's
Uh,
I mean, it's steep. I mean, it's a hiking trail. And, it's not long, but it's steep. Not all of it, but I mean, there's a part of it that well, I mean, it would be very involved to get a wheelchair up there.
mhm.
And I
Um,
don't know who knows anything more about it, whether that would be the conservation department, the recreation department. I don't know. And maybe Pamela has some clue on this, but again, I know that she hadn't heard anything about it when I first told you guys about the announcement.
yeah,
Yeah. So I had not heard about it before the announcement. The question would probably go to conservation. So if the board would like, I can reach out to someone. I can reach out to Dave Zomek and he can direct me to whom we can
yeah,
get
we could,
more.
just
Yeah.
because it was advertised, I guess. And it would be nice to know why they did that, given that it's not possible to make it accessible without extreme expense. Um, anyway, okay. Well, now we know. Okay, 25 feet. All right. The meeting with the town manager. Jim and Pamela and I met with the town manager maybe a month ago, a little more, to express our frustration about being left out of the loop about a lot of things, and also extreme frustration, at least on my part, at the $100,000 that was allowed to go unused, that had been part of the MOD grant that we were awarded in 23. And no, 24. I'm sorry. We were awarded it in 24. They didn't have the staff, they said, to get around to it. And we just sort of let Paul know about the $100,000 that the town lost. Um, and I don't
Wow.
know, does anybody have a read on that?
Wow, I have not heard of that before.
Oh yeah, that was the no, that's right. You weren't at the July meeting, right?
Yeah, I wasn't.
Okay, so the MOD grant that was supposed to make the entrance on the south side of the Munson Library accessible.
Yes.
Um somehow they didn't have the ability to get a good plan, like a blueprint, whatever they call it, to do the work. So they didn't have anything to put out to bid, and then so they couldn't do it. And then the Conservation Commission question about the rhododendron, I don't know what
Oh,
that was
yes.
about at all, because it really, they weren't ready to build it at all anyway, which we didn't know until the July meeting. We didn't know that they hadn't, that they hadn't met the qualifications of the grant, that they talked to the state, to the MOD. The MOD retracted the grant and told them to reapply for it. And that's why they reapplied in June for the same grant they had already received, none of which we really were informed of. So we let Paul know about our extreme concern about not only the process, but the fact that we were awarded $100,000 that the town
Yeah,
didn't use. And I mean, I said to him, I don't know about you, Paul, but $100,000 is a lot of money to me.
yeah.
So they reapplied. Whether it will be awarded or not, we will find out whenever they make their awards. And it's not a given. And it was just not good.
For the
We just
same project, they applied for the same
they
project.
applied for the exact same thing that they had already been awarded and did not use.
Why would MOD give them another 100,000?
That's what I would like to know.
Yeah.
So we will see.
Hmm.
We will see. Jim or Pamela, you were all at the meeting. Maybe I missed something.
No, I don't think you missed something. I mean, the problem, the problem appears to be two things. One is that they've been short-staffed in the planning department for a long, long time, and that leads them to miss deadlines and all that kind of stuff. And the other problem just seems to be they don't really care all that much about communicating with us, and it doesn't strike them as something that's very important. And it was interesting because what I heard, although perhaps I heard it wrongly, was Paul saying that he had actually gotten news about the MOD, about the fact that they weren't going to be able to complete the project on time, and that so the MOD was putting the money back in the pot, but he just didn't act on it. He didn't communicate with us either. And I sort of had the sense that he was going to talk to the parties involved and encourage them to communicate better with us. I didn't get I mean, the meeting was cordial, don't get me wrong, but most, town meetings are when you're meeting with town officials, and except for Pamela, I don't know what it's up with her, but anyway. Um, um,
I
but,
thought
I
Pamela
didn't
was
get
very
a sense
strong,
that
actually.
I didn't get a clear sense that it was full speed ahead and that we'd have wonderful communication in the future. It was just sort of, well, whatever.
That's the
But
sense I got.
I think
Pamela?
this should be on the media, don't you think?
No, I don't. Pamela, did you read it the same way as Jim and me? Pretty much, we said our piece, and it was like,
Right.
oh, thanks for letting me know. That's really too bad. And it's very sad that you can't do things when you're short-staffed and, life goes on.
Yeah, I agree with your summary of the meeting. I think it's probably incumbent upon us to continue to push for a better communication between the departments. Every town department is short-staffed, but I don't know if that's a good reason for not maintaining communication, because we are all working beyond capacity. And so, but you still make the best effort that you can to make sure that people are included in part of the loop. And unfortunately, I don't know if that has been the case for this commission.
Oh, I
You know,
would put money on no.
you know what frustrates me more is not the communication issue at all, because nobody tells us what grant they're writing for, or what they're going to do with it. I mean, they get listen to our recommendations, of course. But we have no idea who's going to start the project, roll up the sleeves, grab the shovels, and start the work. So if the town is not staffed properly, why do they even go to apply for the loans and not even spend a penny of it because they are not ready to do it? So I think it is really, in my opinion, they shouldn't even apply for that grant if they should know the capacity, manpower they have that will work on it, right?
In
That's my
all
opinion.
fairness, in all fairness, I believe they applied for it when Chris was still here. And she retired. They were not able to replace her. I don't know how hard they tried. I mean, I don't know any of that. But I think they had more people when they applied for it. But it's true that it is better to not apply than it is to apply, be awarded the grant, and look incompetent because you can't use it.
Yeah,
You are absolutely right.
yeah. And then MOD will feel bad because there probably were other towns that were interested to grab that big
Yeah,
amount of money, and
exactly.
they were denied because it was all, there were no funds left.
That's
So
correct. And it does not roll over.
no.
It's
Well, that
gone.
is really bad, in my opinion.
I agree.
So I think this is a management issue, not because of manpower or anything. You know, somebody has to keep an eye what is going on. And do you think we're staffed enough to get this project? If not, can we use outside help? You know, pay other people to do similar things. I don't know. It's a management issue, in my opinion, which is really very disappointing.
Yeah, I can't disagree with what you said because they had $100,000. And if
Yeah,
they didn't have anyone in house who could draw up the plan, they could have used some of the 100,000 to hire someone to draw up the plan. And if they didn't quite finish it, they wouldn't have quite finished the work or ran out of money. And maybe they could have supplemented it with
yeah,
something.
yeah.
So
So
I don't know. I agree with you, actually.
yeah, communication is doesn't mean anything, in my opinion. It is just the internal management of the way town operates and runs their business. To me, that's why I said I think the media should be aware of that. You know, like Scott Hersberger or something, can't remember his last name. And he's very interested in bringing openness to things. You know, why we turn off $100,000, which was awarded to us.
Yep.
I think that is worth explaining. Not that they're understaffed. I don't know. And I remember bringing a very important problem to their mind, to their attention. At Fort River, when we went for the Amherst Neighbors annual picnic there, and I was just checking the bathroom, which is accessible outside. It is totally inaccessible to get into the restrooms and to close. Once you somebody helps you in, you can't even close the door. That's a terrible thing for the only accessible restroom, which is by the pool. Oh, that's really, we should do something about it. Well, we need lots of money, so that didn't need $100,000. So if there is $100,000, couldn't they modify completely, use it for other needed things?
No, no, you can't do that. You're awarded the money for the project, and the project is the only thing you can use it for.
Hmm.
But I think, I think your point is well taken, because if I had $100,000 given to me, I probably would spend it and not do some of the things that don't have to do with outside grants that I could lose. So if I wasn't going to do something, it probably wouldn't be that I wouldn't do the thing we got outside money for that we're going to lose. I would say you're right that it was managed very poorly.
Yes.
And I don't know what else to do about that, but so we have to find out what the award date is on the new grant, and find out if we got it again. And if we got it again, we need to have them in here immediately. We have to find out exactly what they're going to do and when they're going to do it. Because if they screw this up twice, whether they're understaffed or not, that'll be the end of us in MOD. So I don't know.
Maybe do you think we should ask the town that we hear that you're applying for the MOD grant for the same project again, but do
They
you
did it in June. The deadline passed in June. They did it.
they did it, but were they have enough staff if they get it again?
Well,
Can
that's
they
what I just
tackle it?
said. We need the award date of the grant because we don't know what the award date is. And when the award date, when we find out, we can write to Jeff Dugan and find out what the date of award would be. And then if we got it, then we know we have to go into action and we need to make sure that people are going to take care of this no matter what else they have to do.
What if
So
they tell you that they don't have enough staff to tackle that?
they can't do that. I mean, that's Paul's job to make sure they do it. Okay. The film series post mortem. Who went to the film? Jim went to the film. I went to the film. Pamela went to the film.
I went to the film
You
as well.
went to the film. That's right. And a bunch of people taking a class at Amherst College for the summer, in the summer, went to the film. We did. And some children went to the film. And I think people thought it was good. So Cody, thank you very much for bringing the
Yeah.
film to our attention.
And I thank Austin Serrett for directing the students in his seminar to see the film. So
Who did?
Austin Serrett, he was the
Oh,
professor.
yeah. Okay.
The,
Yeah. No, that was very good. And then did anyone go to the film in East Hampton?
I didn't.
I did not either.
Yeah.
Pamela and I went to the film in Northampton. And that was good too. That was actually, I guess that was a film. God, I can't remember the name of it anymore. That it was, it was like
Coda.
a movie. Coda. It was a movie theater film about a deaf guy, a deaf woman. No, a woman whose parents
Right.
were deaf.
Right. Children
Um,
of deaf adults. So the heroine in the film is the daughter, and both her parents and older brother are deaf, and she's hearing.
right. She's a singer.
Yeah.
And it was whether she would carry on their business or whether they would allow her, or not that they would have had to allow it, but support her in being what she wanted to be. So it was like a coming of age movie as well as a dealing with, conflicting needs of, who's taking care of whom and you know, how does society support people with disabilities so that her daughter didn't have to do it and she could be herself. And yeah, I mean, there were a lot of really good existential questions in the movie. I thought, Pamela, wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
Um,
it was very good. Yeah.
yeah.
And
And they were very nice. And I thought that they were very nice in changing the movie because I don't know if you know the thread I wrote for myself, so I didn't share it with everybody. But when they said that they could not get the video, that this video they were going to show was created by a man in Northampton. And I don't know what it was about, but they um, they determined that they could not get the audio description in time for the showing of this premiere. of the movie. So they were going to hire or get somebody to, or one person or two people to describe the movie in real time. And I wrote back and I said that was unacceptable. I wrote for myself. It said right there that I was writing for myself, not the commission. But I said it's unacceptable to show a movie with, makeshift accessibility afterthought at the last minute. Too bad, sorry, it didn't work out. That's sort of the way people with disabilities have to live their lives all the time.
Yeah.
Sorry, it didn't work out. We tried. And I said that's a really bad message. That audio description is actually a profession for which people are trained. It's not easy. You write scripts, you fit it into the silent spaces in the movie. Nobody that they were going to get was going to be able to do that. I mean, there are real-time describers when you go to a show, like Broadway show, but that's not what they were going to have. And, I wrote back and I said how I thought that was a very bad message to send, that it was perfectly okay to not be accessible if you try and it doesn't work out, too bad. And I let her know that I wasn't happy. And she wrote back and she was very um sympathetic to my position, very apologetic. And apparently it took some doing, but she got them to withdraw that showing and they'll do it at a later time. And they chose this other movie. So for me, it was really it was a great experience because Amy Suhihara and I don't know who else was involved, but they handled it very, very well, my concern. And I think that the message they were going to send about accessibility was not okay. So, but I haven't heard from them since. Have you, Pamela?
No, I haven't heard from them since, but they're aware that we took the month of August off. And I think that your point was well made, right? For
Yeah,
especially for Disability Pride Month.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right. We should
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
be accessible, right? If that's the point.
I didn't think the message was
Yeah.
good, like, oh, we tried, but we, didn't work out.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's great job.
That's usually what
I,
happens to us. So, um, anyway, it was a nice thing that they did it. I think the summertime we might have, we might have done better with audience numbers if it wasn't the summertime. But, I thought it was a good thing to do. And though they might do it again. I don't know. Ian had volunteered to connect with them the last time they did a movie a couple years ago. And, we all had great ideas about how we could work together on something, and everybody got too busy. So hopefully something will come of it this time. But, I thought it was an interesting idea that they had. And
So
maybe we
how
can
was
come
the
up with an
turnout in Northampton?
It was smaller than here in Amherst because we
Yeah.
had 25 people and I would say they had fewer than 10.
Okay.
Huh. Yeah, I think it was the timing, or maybe that people had seen that movie already, or I don't know, my daughters had seen it. And
Yeah.
so I don't know. But anyway,
I
it
think
was, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I do think like late afternoon is a difficult time. So having our film in the evening when more people are free and off work probably got us a larger attendance. But late afternoon, a lot of people are still going to be at work or have family or children obligations. So.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah, well they did it at 3 o'clock, 3 to 5 it was. Um and anyway, I thought it was an interesting experience. And had we had a meeting between the time of the showing of the film and the time that they wrote to me that it wasn't going to, that they just sent the thing that it wasn't going to be accessible, I would have brought it to this committee, but I didn't because we didn't have a meeting. So I just took care of it on my own behest. And I wrote immediately at the top, I was writing for myself, not for the commission. All right. Oh yeah, the bill to mask mask bans, that is also Ian. He worked with Lindsay Sabadosa, who's the rep for Northampton. She's a co-sponsor of this bill. I talked to Mindy Dom about it. This commission did vote to support it. And then I remembered that I had talked to Mindy Dom about it, and she was not prepared to support it in its current form because she said that it it talked about all kinds of medical masking. Um, I think she had objections to the breadth of the bill. What she was really interested in was the, obscuring the bills that they have in those places that have it, like Nassau County, New York, has to do with, they want it to be easier for police to know who they are. But then again, now the police are not identifying themselves either if they work for the feds. So I don't know. It's complicated, and I was going to bring it to this meeting for us to maybe. I wrote to Mindy about whether I could share her concern about it in writing, and I didn't get an answer. So that should come back. But I did not write a letter of support because she had some reasonable objections that she was considering, and I had not expressed them to the committee, even though she had told me about them months ago when I talked to her about it. So I don't know how you feel about letting the legislators or asking the town council to support this bill, because I would withdraw my vote. Not that I matter because I'm a minority of people, but I thought that it was something we needed perhaps to reconsider until they changed the bill. So that's why I put it on the agenda. I did not do what I was supposed to do. So you can make me do it if you want.
Myra, can you please brush my memory? Can we go over the bill? What it is
Yeah,
exactly?
I wish I could. The bill, as proposed, would prohibit communities or the state or anybody from having a ban on masks. There are some towns and counties that have made it, it's really a COVID thing. That it started out with ridiculousness from the people who didn't think that people should have to wear masks. So they said there were some towns that banned masks, essentially, because they said that the police couldn't identify people if they're wearing masks, and it was a public safety thing. And that's really not at all what it was. It was really a reactionary thing in support of the people who didn't think that people should be required to wear masks for public health. And so this bill was introduced here to prohibit towns from doing that. But it wasn't just about that kind of masks. It had to do with PPE and all kinds of things that seem to be extraneous um, to the basics of why we shouldn't. No town should be able to ban masks for people that are people want to wear for health reasons. Period. But this bill seemed to be more involved than that. And so last month, I mean, it seemed pretty fundamentally clear, except that it isn't, because Mindy has some concerns about it. And I would like the commission to hear what Mindy has to say about it before we tell the town council
So,
how we
Myra,
feel.
this bill was banning the towns from making mask mandatory.
No,
Opposite.
banning
Just the opposite.
towns from prohibiting masks. Like if you go into a supermarket in Nassau County, New York, with a mask on or a movie theater with a mask on because you want to protect yourself
Right.
against diseases, they can pick you up because they have a mask ban. You're not allowed to wear a mask there because they said that the bogus reason that they gave is that police can't identify people who are, if you're wearing masks, you're trying to conceal your identity. And so, but of course, the government is doing that now. So it's really unclear to me where they are with this legislation, but there are towns acting ridiculously against people who want to wear a mask for their own health protection. That's what it is. And they want to make it illegal in Massachusetts for anyone to to make it impossible for people to wear masks. And
Yeah.
it's very, on its
Yeah.
simple face of it, it's absolutely a good bill. But it's
Yes, I think
apparently, it's more complicated than I thought. So I thought that perhaps we should have uh, Mindy talk to us about it and let us know what what her concerns are before we get the Amherst Town Council, before we ask the Amherst Town Council to support it. Does that make any sense?
To
uh,
me, I don't know enough about it, and Ian isn't here to
Right,
advocate for the Sabadosa bill. So
right.
I don't really see how we can move ahead with it, honestly.
Okay, so
yeah.
I mean, we already voted it. I would just wait to do it. And I'll try to get Mindy to either allow me to share her email or come and talk to us next month about it. Because I think this is a much bigger issue now with the masks being worn by ICE. They're
Yeah.
the ones who shouldn't be allowed to wear masks. It's not the people who have health issues. So I think that I don't know anything about what's going to happen with this bill because the world is falling apart. So I don't really know what to do about it, but I don't want to lend my support to something that might not be the right bill. That's all. The idea is right. Whether this particular legislation is right, I don't know. Have I made it clear or was I very confusing?
I think you're
Well,
clear. I think we're just tabling this issue until
Yeah,
next month when
yeah,
we hopefully will have Ian back to speak in favor of the bill and Mindy either in person or her email to talk
yep, yep,
about her opposition to the
yep.
bill in its current form.
Perfectly said. Now I have to say in Mindy's defense, my computer died last month. Not everything I tried to do with it actually got done. I found a whole bunch of stuff sitting in my outbox that I thought I had sent because I kept losing electrical power to my computer. And so it's possible that she didn't even receive it. So anyway, that's what we'll do next month. Mill River, we sort of touched on. This is what Jeremiah was supposed to talk about because last month, in July, Guilford told us that he's no longer in charge of Mill River. So he said it's under facilities management, which is Jeremiah, which is why I wanted Jeremiah to come and talk to it so he could talk about the Mill River project, which Saren alluded to earlier, but he's not here. And so we don't have any more information.
So I did at the beginning of this meeting just send another email to Jeremiah asking if he could attend that for him to do so, but I will follow up and invite him to the October meeting.
Okay. This is, you get the sense that we're not getting anything done. Anyway,
now
Town-
it became the commission.
town, yeah, exactly. Town hall, parking. We don't know. Saren, were you
Yeah.
supposed to do something with this?
Well, I did. I did
Okay.
go and check it out. So they put the sign up that
Oh,
there is accessible parking over there. So at least that is a good first step. But then I had an idea where the two places should be next to each other, and just to do double lines between them, which would save them some space. But I don't know, did I share that message with you and Pamela? Because it was very fresh in my mind. I did it right after I checked it out. But at least the sign was up showing that there's accessible parking there.
has
I
anyone been back there to see if they drew the lines differently?
I have not been back there. I can double check. I'm not sure that that message was shared with me, or if it was shared last week when I was on vacation. Um, I I just didn't see it in my emails
No,
because I
Yeah,
wasn't checking ASML.
I have
no.
to I have to check it myself, because right now where they put the sign, I don't think they have a double lines on any of the sides. But I forgot now. This was like almost about a month ago I did this. And then I thought, if they put the double line, well, I have to tell you what is the directions. When you get into the parking lot from the main street, so when you the accessible parking place is right across from you. When you enter, you face that. On next to that, on the left side, there should be double lines, and then that accessible parking lot, which is around as you turn around the corner on the other side of the handicap parking place, if they could place them next to each other with double lines. I thought that was what my thought was. But at least they put a sign up that there is accessible parking where there was no identification.
So if they're next to each other, do the vans need to go in opposite directions?
Eh, no, they'll both be facing toward Amherst College when you enter that.
But if they're next to each other, how do people get out using the, whatever they call that space next to
The
this?
double lines?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is very interesting you asked me that question. When you and the present place right now with double line, it is there's double line on the right hand side between that accessible place and the town building. So that is automatically there to start with. I think it has something to do with the um, electric vehicles charging station. So let them keep that double line. So the accessible parking place is in good spot. Make another double line on the left side, and then place another handicap parking place.
But
So
how do
when
the
you,
people get out of the car? I'm confused.
yeah, because
Jim, were you speaking? I'm sorry.
I'm not explaining
No, I
clear.
thought Jim started to say something.
No, I didn't say anything.
You didn't. Okay.
I'm innocent.
Well, I don't understand what you are looking for. Does any,
Okay.
because I don't you need to get out of for a
Yes.
van accessible spot, you need to
Yes.
get out on the right side, not on
That-
the driver's side.
Okay. So at the present place, when you pull your van there, there is double lines on the right side of
Yeah.
which is perfect. And my proposal is make another accessible space, but also draw the lines, double lines on the left side where the accessible place is right now, and make a second accessible place and remove the one on the other side as you turn around that block. And on the other side, there's that accessible place which they just put a marker on, but there is no double lines there.
Pamela, Jim, Cody, are you understanding
Yeah.
what she's saying?
Yes. So,
Because I'm not. Okay.
okay. So currently the two handicap spaces are situated so that I'm trying to think of the best way to describe this. If you think of a fraction, so that with one space above and one space below,
Yeah.
right? And what Sarah is suggesting is that they be consecutive, like two spaces together on the same side with
That's right.
right. And
That,
um, so I don't know whether the two spaces together on the right now the what Sarah is suggesting is that the two spaces be next to each other and facing towards Amherst College,
yeah.
right?
Using the same
What
unloading place.
with one having double lines on the right side and the second one having double lines on the left side is what her suggestion is. I don't know enough. I'd have to really visualize it. I don't know enough about the regs, or can't put the regs in my mind to make a decision about whether that would meet the current code requirements. Um, and I'd have to look at the other parking spaces, because it may be that because of where the electrical vehicle charges are situated, that they have to be in their current configuration. But she's suggesting a different configuration.
That's right.
I think this is a Guilford question. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
So, Pam, when they remove the present place across from the good accessible parking line
Mm-hmm.
on the right side of it, um, they should just remove that, make it just a regular space, and but then put the other accessible, my proposed one,
Mm-hmm.
on the side, on the left side,
Right.
where the existing is. And I think the double lines on the right side of the present existing place is not really designed for that, but it was a space, but they just drew the line, but it works perfect. It's
Mm-hmm.
really perfectly even and lots of space.
So could I suggest maybe a field trip like we did last year? Like with Saren and
Mm-hmm.
um,
Hmm.
Guilford and
Yes.
maybe Pamela or Jim, because I would be useless, um, to look at this and figure out if there's something that could be done that would be better for all involved.
Sure.
I
I can
mean,
reach out to Guilford and check on his schedule and ask him for several dates, and then circle back around and see whether there could be a small group to go and take a look at that space.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
okay. So thank you. I mean, if it's a plausible idea, um, then, and Saren certainly has driven a car.
Mhm.
You don't have the car anymore,
I,
right?
I do, but I don't drive anymore because I have vision impairment. I have macular degeneration. So
Oh, lucky you.
yeah, right. Of all things, this is what I
Oh, gee
needed.
whiz.
Mhm.
So I
Okay.
mean, yeah. So but to me, it seemed at that time I did it. I said one positive thing is at least they put a sign up,
Hmm.
because uh, it was on only one HP space. But then we accidentally saw that, oh, there's one right there, but nobody knows anything about it. But there were no double lines or anything on any side of it. But so this would be a better solution, I think,
Okay.
with the double lines.
Okay.
I'll be happy to be there.
All right. So Pamela is going to reach out to Guilford. Um, sidewalk repairs at Southeast Street. Jim, have they done anything they said they were going to do?
They have not. I'm going to swing by there again today, just in case they did anything today. And then if not, then I'll send a note to Guilford pointing out the issues. I mean, the situation
Yeah, he
has
he made some
deteriorated some.
promises.
I last saw it, but they're so focused on just fixing one thing at a time that they might just, fill in with asphalt the one block of sidewalk that's completely gone and forget everything else that is a real problem. So we'll see. I
Yeah,
again,
thank you for
they've been very busy. I get that. Blah blah blah. But this has been going on for an awfully, awfully long time.
Well, it's just like the movie, it's sort of the afterthought. We have this in mind. We're going to do what we're going to do. We've heard about this other
But
thing for a
staffing issues,
year, but
of course,
I don't know if it's staffing or if it's just some of it has to do, if it's an outside contractor. If it's not in the contract, there has to be a change order in order to achieve it. They don't like change orders because change orders cost much more money than initial orders. And so maybe he was going to have his own people do it. And I I don't know, but it's time for us to not accept that he's going to get around to it because it's been more than a year. He told us they were going to do it in the end of the summer work last year. And it's apparently even worse. Of course it is, because things deteriorate. Okay, so that's all the old business achieving not much.
Mm.
And we have to approve the minutes. We have 2 sets of minutes for May because there wasn't a quorum at the meeting that I missed because I went to the MOD training. So I need a motion to approve. Let's do them 1 month at a time. So the 2 minutes in May 13th and 20, I think.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
correct. Yeah.
yeah. So can I have a motion for those minutes approval?
So move.
Okay, thank you. I need a second.
I second.
All right. Does anyone have any additions or corrections to the minutes? Okay, I wrote to Philip. I don't know how these minutes have been put together. These minutes are a little sloppy, sort of grammatically, and sometimes an important word was missing. So I wrote to him and asked him if it he with a couple brief suggestions, but that really didn't cover it. So I hope that who's ever proofreading the minutes can proofread them better, or it must be, I don't know how that's working, but I don't,
So, so I'll take responsibility. I tried to get all of the minutes caught up because we were behind, and I did them quickly before I went on vacation. And I know
okay.
that Philip did when I checked in with him yesterday, he said that he did make all of the corrections that were pointed out to him.
I
So
just didn't point out very many of them. There's just,
yeah.
there was some rewriting. There was just grammatical issues. Okay. All right. Okay, so I need a vote on the May 2 sets of minutes. Pamela, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, Saren, yes or no?
Yes.
Cody?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Okay, and Jim?
Yes.
Okay, and I will vote yes. Then there were some minutes in June, was June 10. And why don't we do that one and July together? So June 10 and July 8, I believe. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I need a motion about those minutes as well.
So move.
Okay, second?
I second again.
Okay. All right. So this is, anyone have any additions or corrections for the June or July? Okay. All right, Cody, yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Saren, yes or no?
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
yes. Pamela,
Yes.
and I will vote yes. Okay, so that's 5. Now, oh, the new commission members update, we did already. Oh yeah, okay, so the timeline for the ADA capital projects decision making, I think we're gonna have to get ourselves much more involved in these processes because of communication that is lacking, because of management of projects that is lacking. I think we're gonna have to get, there's a joint capital planning committee, right? And we need to, maybe we need to talk to Pat DeAngelis, find out which counselors are on the joint capital planning, or have her talk to them and give us information about how this is really going to proceed and where we can, put ourselves in the process, because it doesn't seem that it's that we're included if we don't make a stink. So I think we just need to, I'll write to Pat DeAngelis about that. And that's also part of the MOD grant thing, same thing. All right, well, does anybody have anything else that they need to add that we
Or
didn't talk
ask.
about?
Can I ask,
Yeah,
what is there any update for the entrance of the new elementary school? That was hotly discussed, and
the road,
yes, the entrance
N-
to the new
not that
facility.
I've heard of. How about you, Pamela?
I have not heard any additional information. No.
Okay, so next month we need to have a meeting about all these projects, but the thing is, they're not all Guilford anymore. So we need, like, Jeremiah LaPlante is responsible for some of it. Guilford is responsible for some of it. And some of it has to do with, I think the last I heard is that I think it's called the committee of the town council, TSO. I think
Hmm.
that's the one.
Mhm.
They, with the one that Andy Steinberg chairs, I think the last thing they did was they said they scrapped the original proposal. They were going to go back to square one and have somebody redevelop another plan using some additional criteria that they hadn't used the first time, having to do with some of the green um, in the common there. They
We
were
can
going to,
follow up with Andy and get his take on where the whole process.
yeah. Is that,
Yeah.
did you offer to do that? Did I hear?
I can, I certainly can do that if people want me to, but that's
I can write to him and find
a
out.
good idea. I like that
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
like the idea too.
So I have to write to Mindy, I have to write to Andy, and I have to write to whatever that last one is that I
Guilford.
forgot. Guilford. Well,
Guilford.
yeah.
Man,
Okay. All right. So I'll send notes to these folks. And now we have
So
a public comment person here.
So the person who was in the room has left, so we no longer have anyone waiting for public
Do
comment.
we know who it was?
We do, but I don't know if it's appropriate for me to announce that. I mean, I can see the name of the individual as they've logged in, but they're no longer here, and I would feel more comfortable with them,
Yeah.
Okay,
you
Yeah.
know, disclosing themselves if
Okay.
they wanted to. Yeah, so yeah, there's no one here for public comment. But I'm
okay,
gonna just recap for a second, if I may. So Myra, you're gonna contact Mindy, Andy, and Pat.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm going to send invitations to Jeremiah, Guilford, and Rob Mora
okay,
for the next
the next
meeting.
meeting.
Right.
Okay,
And then I will also ask Guilford about a field trip about the parking spaces behind town hall.
okay,
Yes.
Now,
Good.
all right.
are a new member be included in the notices for the October meeting?
Yeah, I'm sure he will be.
Yes.
He was just appointed last night.
Right. So I did write and included a Zoom link for today's meeting because he
Yeah,
was
and I sent him one too.
welcome to attend, but simply couldn't vote. So the first step would be for him to be sworn in, and then he should be a fully voting member at the next meeting. So there's plenty of time for that to happen over the next month.
He
Uh,
works
So
in
could
disability services at UMass.
mhm,
he works at Disability Services at UMass?
Yeah.
mhm.
What's his name?
Reginald Andrade,
And yeah,
Andrade. I don't know how he pronounces it.
That's very good.
mhm.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I guess unfortunately we're done with not a lot to show for it, but we
Mhm.
will persevere. Next meeting is October 14, the day after Indigenous People Day, which it is
Which is
officially in Massachusetts,
right.
but not in other states.
Right.
Okay. All right. So I need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Okay. And we need a second to adjourn.
And,
Okay. Cody's seconding. And all right. So anybody who doesn't want to adjourn, say aye. Okay. I guess we're adjourned until
Okay.
All
October
right.
14.
Okay,
All
thank
right.
you.
Right.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Okay,
Okay.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.